Good morning XRP Army, and thank you for returning to the channel. Today we have a tale that will blow your mind and potentially completely transform the lives of those who possess XRP. In the event that you were unaware of it, the Federal Reserve convened a meeting with Ripple in the month of October. Although the specifics of the meeting were initially concealed from the perspective of the general public, we have now been able to decipher the agenda. Also, believe me when I say that the outlook for XRP is quite favorable. There is a possibility that this is the time when XRP finally assumes the position that is rightfully its in the financial system. Stay tuned, because we are going to go deeply into the true reason why the Federal Reserve met with Ripple, as well as what this may imply for your investments if you are a holder of XRP, or even if you are just interested in the future of digital currencies. It would be a shame to miss even a single second of this. In order to get things started, let's talk about FedNow, which is the new real-time payment system that the Federal Reserve introduced earlier this year. As for the item, here it is. Additionally, the debut of FedNow coincided with Ripple's compliance with ISO 2022, which was a fortunate coincidence. What exactly does that say? In any case, the worldwide messaging standard that is utilized by financial institutions for the purpose of communicating about transactions in real time is known as ISO 2022. The Ripple technology, which is meant to facilitate payments across international borders in a frictionless manner, is completely compatible with ISO 2022. It is already common knowledge that the Federal Reserve has been looking at methods to modernize the payment system in the United States. The Federal Reserve's goal is to do this by making transactions more secure, more efficient, and faster for all parties involved. In addition, Ripple stands out as a game changer in the field of financial technology due to its amazing infrastructure and its capacity to allow payments that are both quick and inexpensive across international boundaries. Given the circumstances, it is extremely possible that they viewed Ripple as the ideal partner to assist in the realization of FedNow, utilizing the cutting-edge technology that Ripple has to offer in order to bring their idea to reality. Therefore, here is the question. The creation of FedNow was either a coincidence or a purposeful move. What was the reason behind it? Are there any possibilities that Ripple and XRP are already incorporated into the technology that is discreetly running the back end of FedNow's payment network, therefore guaranteeing that transactions are carried out without any interruptions? Since a long time ago, a significant number of us in the XRP community have been speculating that Ripple and the blockchain technology it employs would play a significant part in the transformation of traditional finance, so making it easier to obtain and more proficient. And this convergence with FedNow's debut only serves to bolster that conviction, showing that in the future blockchain technology will be at the center of innovation in the financial sector. But wait, things are about to get much more intriguing. The Federal Reserve reportedly conducted tests on XRP for real-time dollar payments, as stated in a recent leak that was made public by a whistleblower. Indeed, you did hear that correctly. In order to determine whether or not it could manage real-time transfers of US dollars, the Federal Reserve was actively testing with XRP. This is a really significant development because it indicates that the Federal Reserve is becoming interested in XRP for more than just theoretical reasons. In reality, they have been conducting experiments with it in order to either replace or supplement pre-existing systems such as Fedwire. Fedwire is the standard wire transfer mechanism that has been utilized by the Federal Reserve for many years. For those of you who are unaware of this fact, let me explain. In spite of the fact that it conducts transactions worth trillions of dollars annually, it is sometimes attacked for being sluggish, costly, and technologically obsolete. Over the course of several years, the Federal Reserve has been interested in finding a solution that is more effective, and Ripple's XRP has emerged as the leading contender to fulfill that function. It is possible that if XRP were to replace or complement Fedwire, it would bring about a fundamental transformation in the way that money is transferred in the United States, in addition to making transactions more efficient and quicker. By virtue of its lightning-fast transaction speed, its capacity to process enormous quantities of transactions in a matter of seconds, and its cheap transaction costs, XRP has the potential to be the solution to the problems that Fedwire has been experiencing for years currently. This has the potential to result in a financial system that is both more streamlined and cost-effective, which would be to the benefit of both consumers and companies. However, if the Federal Reserve is not seriously contemplating the role that XRP will play in the future of the financial system, then why would they make the decision to test it? To make the connection between these events, one does not need to be a conspiracy believer. XRP has been put through its paces by the Federal Reserve because they believe it has the potential to be a viable solution for enhancing the effectiveness of the United States dollar system. In addition, if they are currently doing tests on it, it is just a matter of time until they thoroughly incorporate it into their business operations. From this vantage point, let us take a moment to reflect on something that is even more intriguing. A few of analysts are of the opinion that the function of XRP as the backbone of the digital dollar was actually foreseen all the way back in the 1970s. Yes, you did exactly hear what I said. The Nixon tapes, which were recordings of talks that took place between President Richard Nixon and his advisors throughout the 1970s, have been referenced by some as a forecast of the role that XRP would play in the future of the financial system. You may be wondering, how? On the other hand, these cassettes explored the possibility that in the future, a system of digital money may be required to either replace or enhance traditional sources of financial support. In light of the fact that the Nixon administration was responsible for a significant change in the global financial system, most notably the elimination of the gold standard, there are experts who feel that these recordings were a portent of a future in which a digital currency would be the primary form of currency. Additionally, as of today, that digital money is beginning to resemble XRP more and more. Ripple is the ideal contender to serve as the foundation for a new digital dollar system because of its blockchain technology, which when paired with XRP's lightning-fast transaction speeds and minimal costs, makes it the ideal choice. As the development of money continues, might this be the next natural stage in the process? Let's speak about the pricing for a moment, since, if what I'm saying is accurate, the price of XRP may be well on its way to skyrocketing. When compared to the expenses of replacing the existing network such as Fedwire, it would still be a value even if the price of XRP was set at a cautious $100 per unit. In the event that the Federal Reserve made the decision to entirely revamp its payment system, the amount of money required may be in the billions. However, Ripple's approach, which is powered by XRP, provides an option that is far more cost-effective. The issue that has to be asked here is, what will happen when the Federal Reserve decides to accept XRP? It is possible that the demand for XRP will increase if it is finally incorporated into the infrastructure of the Federal Reserve and if it is being tested for real-time dollar transactions. If this were to occur, it would result in a significant increase in price, particularly if more and more institutional players were engaged. Given that the actual worth of XRP is starting to become more apparent, the price tag of $100 for XRP could even appear to be a bargain in retrospect. XRP has been one of the assets in the cryptocurrency industry that has been undervalued the most, but as it begins to be completely integrated into the US, so let's bring this to a close. The secret meeting between the Federal Reserve and Ripple is no longer a conspiracy, rather it is no longer a possibility. Through this partnership, the current state of the financial sector is going to be completely reimagined. As time goes on, the possibility of incorporating XRP into the payment system of the United States of America is becoming increasingly possible, which indicates a significant movement toward digital currencies, and the repercussions for those that possess XRP are really significant. It is possible that people who have invested early may see big benefits as a result of this. XRP is proving to be a flexible asset, since it can be used for a variety of purposes, including real-time dollar transfers, payments across international borders, and even remittances. The value of XRP is becoming more and more evident, namely in terms of its potential to serve as the foundation for a digital dollar system. XRP is in a position to play a significant part in the global financial system of the future. A new age of financial transactions is going to be supported by its technology, which is sturdy and ready to assist. To add insult to injury, let's not overlook the profit possibilities. At this point, the market is beginning to acknowledge the full worth of XRP. Since its inception, XRP has been undervalued. However, this is beginning to change as more people become aware of its advantages. But as its use becomes more widespread and its function within the international monetary system becomes more transparent, the potential for expansion is enormous. It is possible that the price may jump to unfathomable heights. Potentially, we are on the verge of a revolution in the financial sector. In the event that you are in possession of XRP, now is the time to fasten your seatbelts, since the journey that lies ahead is going to be thrilling and quite possibly extremely rewarding. This is because this may be the beginning of something that is genuinely transforming. XRP is ahead of the curve when it comes to the future of money, which has arrived. Do not forget to press the notification bell, subscribe to the channel, and hit the like button if you found this video to be helpful. This will ensure that you do not miss any